very much, Shucks. Good afternoon, all you esports fans. Stefan PiraTechnics Young here, and alongside me is the Great Dane, the current king of predictions. It is Martin Deficio.
There we go, Pyra. You remember.
You're one game away, though, so watch your back, mister. Don't get complacent.
Well, it's going to be pretty interesting today. The predictions were just tweeted by LCS Esports, so there's two different things between me and Betty. Misfits and Rocket.
Fans are very lively today.
Are they yelling my name? No, they're not yelling your name. I can hear it.
Oh, it is? Okay, cool. I thought they were
on.
saying something else. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, a big Hungarian fan contingent.
All right, no one cares about predictions, just Pyra.
No, well, hey, here's the thing. You can take your foldy sheet and fold it in half right about now. This one does not have standings implications, as they said on the desk. But
true.
We're getting into the game. We're getting into picks and bans, Giants versus Splyce, and already know Zoe.
And the big question is always, what do you pick in this game? Is it, okay, let's get the practice here. It's going to be, a serious game. Or is it, come on, let's have a bit of fun. Last game of the regular season for Giants and Splyce?
I think it could go even farther than that, right? If you take a look at the tendency these two teams have really preferred over the split, they like those late games. Maybe they go for the full-on scaling. I mean, 80 minutes to dream, Deficio.
The funny thing here is that one team, I'm not going to say who, has tried to brand themselves as late game kings.
Are you sure it's the team, or is it
okay, it might have been the coach. And that team has actually lost most of the late games. Where the other team has never tried to brand themselves as late game kings, and they only win in the late game. Now guess who?
Sounds like fake news.
I don't know, Pyra.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what we've got so far. There's Natrox's blue side ban here. Tom Kench as well. Now that's
pretty serious so far.
That's a serious one. That's a kaSing ban, and no Nocturne either.
Oh, he actually.
Now you got to wonder, are these hovers actually legit here?
You better lock that in right now. I'm looking at him. That's not reworked. We don't need that yet.
Yeah, no, we're still on patch 8.50.
So the Janna here is actually, it's a mind game thing. It's a counter hover, because Xerxe will always hover it.
That's right.
So I think they're trying to get in his head by kind of showing they can also do it.
But it's an Akali. So we saw a lot of Akali after the rework came through last week, and now it'll be Betsy's time to shine on it once more. Back over to Splyce.
Quick prediction, Maokai Rammus hover coming in from Odoamne.
Interesting.
Splyce is actually the team, and this is a very serious point, they're the team that hovers the most in pick and ban phase. And it's always very specific what they hover. The Diana is from Xerxe. Typically it's Rammus Maokai from Odoamne, just because it's an old joke that he's like, he can only play those champions. And Kobbe is the Ari, so there's a lot of hovers on this side. And I think that is crucial.
This is Splyce as a team. They're a very jovial bunch of dudes for sure. Now, we'll see if they take that onto the Rift as well and have a little bit more fun with it today. Ooh. Now, we already have an early mid lane lock-in, so that means that Nisqy will answer with the Leblanc very quickly.
So what I find pretty cool here is Splyce have made it very clear lately that they want to play Varus when it's available. They want to give that to Kobbe. It's a great champ for him. We talked about it yesterday, good laning phase, multiple builds you can go for depending on what comps you're playing against. Typically it is just the more like auto attack focused build we see now from him and not the pure lethality that we've seen before. Also Nisqy on Leblanc, like anytime I feel like Nisqy is on an assassin, I'm ready. I want to see how he performs. The only problem is Splyce don't tend to do a lot around him in the early game, so he doesn't normally start the game off 5-0 and just carries from there. He actually has to wait for team fights.
This is the difference we want to see. Xerxe needs to be on a champion that can set him up early and visit that lane to help shut down Betsy's Akali. But there's still some time to see if Splyce decide to lock in a jungler here, or if they're going to wait for a bit later. There have been a number of jungles already banned by themselves, with the Olaf, the Talia, and the Nocturne off the board. And there's the Trundle.
Wow.
That can't do a lot of damage early game.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Memento this split, Deficio.
It can definitely do a lot. It's also the #1 pick for Xerxe, the man who reintroduced Trundle to the meta, if people already forgot that during Spring Split. When everyone figured out the jungle meta was just locked in place, same 3 champions, suddenly when Olaf got picked, bam, Trundle happened. And it was actually a big surprise. That ended up working super well for Splyce in their playoffs. Might have started just in the last week of regular season. But anyway, the Trundle came in.
Yeah, that was a large part of Splyce's success in the Spring Split. And, they're going to have a long road ahead of them into the playoffs to try and make it happen again, being locked in for that 6th seed. We'll see what they decide to round their composition out. We talked a lot about the Splyce side, but let's move a little over to the Giants. There's this Akali pick, and you kind of have it flanked by some pretty standard choices, with the Lucian being one of those popular marksmen that's survived through the mage era of bot lane, and of course the Sejuani. What do you think Giants should round their comp out with?
Well, let's see. They have some engage from jungle, but probably not enough if they actually want to play a pure teamfight comp. Ideally, when you have Akali, you don't want to do anything pre-level 6, so they don't necessarily have to draft a ton of winning lanes here, apart from what they have already. I think actually just when I think Ruin is doing well, he's on a carry top. Like, I think his Rumble has actually been very good. I wouldn't mind seeing it, even though they will stack a lot of magic damage. They have the Lucian to provide physical DPS on their side. Only problem is the Sejuani can't necessarily help too much in the early game, and then you have to respect what a Trundle can do. And can you gank a Rumble? Very easily.
Absolutely. Now, Ruin is also taking a lot of things into a Rumble matchup, the likes of which Odoamne is fairly comfortable with as well. Splyce playing around with what they want to lock in, and finally it settles on the Braum to pair up with the Varus, so Kobbe kaSing on a pretty comfortable power.
I miss the old kaSing. The kaSing who would
Oh, you mean the clocks everywhere with the Zillion?
The Zillion, the Bard, like...
He's still, it's still in there somewhere. He played a couple Zillion games.
I know, but he... Hey, that's a Rumble.
Hey,
I like
prediction.
it. There we go. It didn't really count, but I'll take it. With the Braum one, like, kaSing knew he had to start playing it. Wait, that's kaSing's champ. They're just stealing all the champs.
All right,
away.
so the Janna locked in. So, kaSing's of course still going to hover on the Zillion.
Oh yeah, but he will go for the Braum, obviously down the bottom lane. The question is just what they want to play top against Rumble specifically. You can be boring and just go for a tank, or you can try and pick some of these carries and then gank that lane early game and just like Rumble loses 1v1 once you get out of lane phase against a lot of these split pushers. And
I was about to say, what do you think about the Gnar? Because I feel like Odoamne is usually on the opposite side of this matchup. And looking at what Splyce have, I feel like this is a pretty beastly 1-3-1 if they want to do it.
It is. Splyce obviously as a team, when they draft 1-3-1 comps, still tend to play pretty slow. It's not necessarily the one where they just completely take over the game, but they have a great setup to actually apply full pressure on the map. Question is, the Akali. Can they make sure Betsy does not get ahead in this game? Because then he will dominate once he goes into a side lane. But it's going to be interesting. Giants have mainly drafted actually just a lot of damage coming in from the Rumble and Lucian, if you look at just like one item on their side. And I really especially want to look at the bot lane 2v2, because they picked this Janna. SirNukesAlot is one of the highest rated supports in solo queue, and he's been this for a long time. He's rank 1 and everything. He's done multiple AMAs around, you know, him being rank 1. He plays an insane amount of games, and he plays almost anything. And with their Janna pick specifically, with Lucian, I'm really looking at this Giants bot lane to do well. I actually want to see how they perform together, because a lot of people, very mixed opinions around the Giants bot lane. You know, some players don't rate them very highly at all. Other players say, no, these guys have actually improved a ton here in the Summer Split, and they're doing much better. So I want to see if they can do something here.
Yeah, it's really easy to kind of look at the loss streaks and realize, okay, you know, Giants, maybe they don't look so hot across the board, but that bottom lane has been one of the standing out performances, especially in the AD carry position. I think Steeelback deserves a lot of credit. And honestly, for what he's been able to accomplish, looking into some of his stats the last couple weeks, and you know, he's not playing that KDA cleanup style anymore. The Giants, it's all for pride here. And of course, on the opposite side, Splyce, they just want to get a clean win moving ahead into the playoffs. But it looks like we're in for some serious practice mode as we load up onto the Rift.
Still get some fun matchups.
Oh,
Leblanc
yeah, we do.
versus the Akali. Like,
I got my eye on that one, man. 2 assassins is always exciting to see, and Betsy is another player that honestly deserves the attention of the fans.
He's actually hard carried some games for Giants.
He backdoored their first win.
I mean, yeah, very true. And it's important that we appreciate when we get assassins in the mid lane against each other, because for a long time in competitive League of Legends, we had Orianna versus Azir happening almost every meta, and people were asking for more assassins. And lately, we've gotten a lot more. Like, we've had a Zed early, only one, of course, but we still had it.
I'll take it.
Wukong from Caps.
We've had the Talon with the Smite mid.
We've
like,
had that.
The camp level 1.
Obviously, Akali right now is considered one of the strongest picks in the meta. So you have what can be a super snowbally 1v1 matchup mid lane if the teams are playing towards that lane. Obviously, with the side of Giants, we already mentioned the Rumble top. I think that's actually the Ruin's best champion right now, which is obviously why he grabs it blind, and he's not going to struggle against Odoamne specifically in the early game. It's only if Xerxe suddenly shows up. Let's see what happens level 1. PiraTechnics, I think they're going to sneak their way in.
Ooh, Xerxe spotted
Did not see the ward here. So the ward was placed far enough away that when you use Sweeper to enter up the ramp, you didn't see it necessarily. So they don't fully know that they actually spotted. Giants have the information, and obviously that ward is placed in that specific position for a reason. just to make sure that it doesn't get spotted and disabled instantly.
Of course, now Splyce know that Giants know because Djoko is going over the wall. So
kind of gave it away,
junglers pretty much have perfect invasion, and this is why you ward.
And Xerxe, by running straight through mid lane, will make sure that he can stop Djoko from actually doing something. So good little move here. You get the enemy red buff. Can he even get the Rift Scuttler and force Djoko away? It's a Trundle, very strong early fight, and red buff. Djoko gambled, and it backfired. Because that ward placed in the river, and as you said, Pyra, smart level 1 warding is important.
So Xerxe is going to come away with the lion's share of that experience and that CS early on. Now Betsy does force Nisqy and at least his clone, out of the lane for the time being. Pretty quiet, settling things in for the time.
We're 2 minutes in.
Hey, I wanted all the action, man. No, Djoko is going to try and sneak the blue buff back on the other side.
All right, so instead of him staying in his own jungle, he actually did not sit around to farm any of his camps, and he, I think, now surprised Xerxe by taking this path in to then steal the blue buff. Xerxe could go in and just take away the Grump and the Wolf camp, and he will still get some camps in the enemy jungle. I think Djoko has played a bit safer and just step out, but notice bot lane, as we highlighted with this Janna pick, expecting Giants to do extremely well down here, and they are pushing in early, allowing Djoko to invade.
Yeah, just giving the opportunities. Now, Giants, I mean, again, I want to harp a little bit. I'll go back to it in a second because Betsy is going to get caught up in those chains, and they might not be able to see him just yet, but they can tell that he was right around in the area as he dashes away to safety. Djoko coming back to help out. But I want to talk about Giants overall. They have actually had a lot of close games. Yesterday especially, you got to look at the game against G2 Esports because they came damn close to getting 2-0 on the split against G2 until it all came crashing down around 30 minutes.
And that kind of is the Giants story that is so interesting this split is they've actually been pretty fun to watch in a lot of the games because individually they've had a lot of players ready to try and make big plays. Sadly, in terms of, you know, game macro, making the right decision consistently as a team, it's just not been there. Like, they make one great play and then the next two fail.
It's in-game consistency, right? It's not about like, oh, you know, they need to get consistent wins over the splits. They need to just consistently do the right thing to win it. And it just hasn't been enough so many times, and that's the frustrating part.
Yeah.
But I think more to your point, Giants are a very exciting team. They make a lot of cool stuff happen.
And that's again the thing where the individual players, when it's like 1v1 or 2v2, they're ready to go for the aggressive ones. They actually try and pull the trick on it, and that's fine. But they're obviously not a step above a lot of the other teams if you look at individual talent, which is why the scrappy playstyle has not rewarded enough wins. Because you can make a case for Fnatic maybe not playing the cleanest games all the time. But they have some of the best players, so when they go for these aggressive moves, they tend to go in their favor because they just outplay you in the individual skirmish. Not saying they're making terrible plays, but they can go for more aggressive moves on their side than a team like Giants, just based on the names and the talent.
Yeah, it's not just having the plan, it's also being able to adapt it on the fly. Now, Xerxe is wrapping around here to try and get a gank off onto Steeelback. SirNukesAlot, Kobbe a little bit low. Flash forward from kaSing does not hit the Q. Steeelback dashes over away from the pillar, but it looks like NukesAlot's the target right now. He's going to go down to the Q of Kobbe.
Kobbe, man, snipes him down in the end. Xerxe's been trying to get a few ganks off, first in the mid lane, now down in the bottom lane, and that's important because not only did you stop the double ranged lane from pushing, you also got both flashes. So they're going to be super scared now when it comes to pushing forward again in the future. And this really slows down that winning lane Giants have drafted for themselves.
Yeah, that's the start of potentially a turnaround here. So well-invested flash from both the support and the AD carry. Let's take a look at how it happened again. Full vision for Splyce and not so much for the Giants.
kaSing, as long as he gets the passive down, Steeelback knows he can't really do a whole lot, and NukesAlot, yeah, sadly for him, caught a little bit too far up.
Yeah. We gave a lot of credit early on, though, to SirNukesAlot and, you know, his ability to play a lot of these different champions. But I want to talk about on the other side, Kobbe. Even in the loss yesterday against Schalke, he was the standout performer in my mind. This guy was doing everything he could. He couldn't do enough against the front line because they were just holding everything up and nobody else on Splyce was able to break it.
And you know what? I tried the same storyline yesterday and I agree for most part of the game, but people will look at the final fight at the Elder Drake that Splyce lost. He flashed forward trying to finish a kill onto Amazing. Suddenly he was caught in the middle, he died, and they lost the fight
forward. Uh-oh, Betsy! So, what were you saying about flashing forward to try and get the kill?
Ooh. Well, Assassins in the mid lane.
Yeah.
They're fighting, it's exciting.
I mean, you're right. but
it's really exciting if you're Nisqy.
Not so much if you're Betsy.
Really exciting.
But you know what else is really exciting? Ward's getting cleared, apparently.
No, it's because kaSing is using his sweeper. And that's people appreciating good support play.
Oh, is that what it is?
Always
okay.
remember to use your sweeper, guys. I respect the crowd for cheering for the sweeper.
Keep it clean. I like it. Now,
I want to see the replay of Betsy jumping into turret.
I think we're going to see it.
All right, let's get it again, Betsy. All right, so you're level 6. You're like, great, this is it. Now your W is on cooldown. That's a problem for you if you're going into turret range, because you kind of need that to avoid the turret shots. You didn't have it, you got chained.
Ward is Ignite as well.
Not the greatest place, or, as a shoutcaster would say, fantastic outplay by Nisqy. What a beast.
Every misplay is someone else's outplay, that's for sure.
There you go.
But either way, Nisqy's finding himself up 1 kill right now, and Bruin's going to be called in to try and get a little bit of backup for Betsy here. Let's see, he's going to get spotted around the side. Nisqy playing it out safe. It's kind of hard to gank Leblanc, in all honesty.
I mean, there's no flash, and Djoko was around, so if he, like, you know, snuck the ult over the wall, it could have been a huge play.
Sure, I mean, that's fair. It's just the distortion is definitely a decent way to get out of harm's way. Odo finding out Ruin as he tries to go back to his own tower. So the mid lane has been where most of the actions occurred, minus the first blood.
Right, and then you wonder, okay, Splyce, you know, they have a 2-0 lead now. They have Nisqy already getting killed in mid. Like, surely they have control in the map, or on the map. And then you look at the minimap, and it's like blue wards everywhere, and it's just giants being able to move around on the bottom side. So Splyce have actually not gotten a whole lot of control yet, despite getting the early kills. They're still getting, you know, somewhat pushed in on the bottom side. Nisqy's hoping for another kill, though. Betsy's hiding. SirNukesAlot is here.
Oh, goes over the wall. Does not manage to find the Glacial Prison. Betsy looking, hunting, not able to find the kill. Still Splyce holding that gold lead. But as you mentioned, yes, it has been Giants' control around this river. They have a lot of vision invested.
And that's the thing, right? I'm praising the Giants' vision because it allowed them to set up plays like the one we just saw here. You just gotta then execute on it, because you were hiding in that river, you know, you were trying to sneak in with the ult from Djoko against no flash Nisqy, try and burst him down. But he read the situation properly.
Yep, that's the consistency. You need to be able to set up the plays and knock him down at the same time. So game state still a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more laid back, and that's how both the teams like to play it. We keep on talking about that late game and how they both love getting there.
Well, Giants are still the fake late game kings. They're not the real late game kings.
That's some good ward clearing action right there. Now, Ruin has found Odoamne, but he's got to be careful. Near overheating. This is actually one of those 1v1s I could see actually resulting in an isolated kill.
Sure. I mean, at some point we're probably going to get it. I just went back to see the play where Nisqy jumped back and he didn't get hit by Djoko. What actually gave it away? And SirNukesAlot moving up, he got spotted by a ward that Nisqy just placed, so he was ready to jump back to his original position. And that's why, when he saw the Sejuani ult, he instantly clicked on it. Otherwise, I think he wouldn't have 100% guessed that they were sitting there. But because he spotted SirNukesAlot on a ward he just placed himself, he was ready. Reacted very quickly, so well done by Nisqy. Good game from him so far. Meanwhile, if we look at the bottom lane, what do I see, Pyra? I see Arcane Comet from Kobbe. I see Ghostblade first item. Lethality Varus.
You can teach a dog new tricks. Sometimes it does work that way. So Kobbe has changed it up a little bit on this Varus.
I mean, if you look at the team he's playing against, there's 4 squishy targets.
That's a good point. Lethality kind of, you know, is true to its name in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, it actually makes sense for what he's playing against. Now, late game is a bit... Okay, let's see the replay. So notice when he walks down, the ward he places right there spots SirNukesAlot when he moves in. So he's ready. Okay, they might be around. Otherwise, why would Janna be here? And that's when he jumps back very quickly. So actually pretty good reaction time. Anyway, Lethality Varus. I played against one the other day in lane. At this point, when he has the first item, if he hits 2 Qs on you as a squishy target, you're back in base. It's actually insane how much damage it deals early. It just doesn't do much in the late game. But now, at this point, if they gank this bottom lane, which is what I'm expecting with the Lethality build, they have so much damage.
Djoko moved in, didn't find kaSing, but this is the problem for the Giants' bottom lane.
That's
Look at all that damage.
That's the first one.
We were thinking, though, the Lucian and Janna combo was actually going to be the one.
I mean, they lost the flashes, as we highlighted, that died the first time, and Lethality build is great in laning phase, so it is actually very hard for Steeelback and SirNukesAlot to do something now. Another thing with it, and a little tip I got from a super smart coach, is when you see Lethality Varus in lane, build a cloth armor. Just do it.
I see.
Like, just do it. It's so effective at trying to mitigate some of this damage, because you just need to make sure that you don't get killed on 2 Qs. That's effectively what we're playing
that's
around.
a feels bad man for sure. No, speaking of Betsy, once again getting rooted into the Shroud he goes. Nisqy is still able to find some damage on the Distort and forcing the back away, or maybe not.
Oh,
Here comes Djoko throwing out the Ice Ball, and Betsy going in for the collapse. Finally gets the kill. Oh, so close. And he eventually dies. Djoko getting pushed back forward. It looks like Xerxe and Odoamne are going to be double teaming here. And that Splyce coming up with the advantageous trade.
Nisqy actually managed to get a kill on Betsy right there, even though he was the one getting ganged. And then the turnaround, Odoamne using the pillar from Xerxe. Bot lane as well taking some damage, and this is a bit of a problem for Giants, my friend.
Oh, Splyce kicking things into high gear here. Flashing out of danger is Ruined as he goes back to the safety of his tower, but speaking of Ruined, I think this early game right now is not going the way the Giants envisioned it. A lot of damage chipped down on the tower bottom with Kobbe and kaSing. And that's a 2-1 Leblanc, Deficio.
All right, let's see the mid lane outplay. So Betsy is already down to about 60% HP. Nisqy gets a bit more damage onto him, but now W is used. Everything is actually gone except for Flash. So he could flash the ult here from Djoko, but decides not to do it. And just in time, he gets the QW combo onto Betsy and kills him. And Odoamne uses the pillar very nicely. Another kill there. So far, we gotta say, if we gotta give some grades here, the first pick Akali.
Oh, wait. Bye. Nisqy.
So, from 1 to 10, after this
you're not gonna talk. Ruin's going down too. Here's where that solo kill finally happens.
You got it.
Splyce are just steamrolling.
So let's say, first of all, if you're losing early games to Splyce, damn, you're in trouble, boy. Anyway, grades, 1 to 10. Pyro, what are you giving the Akali so far?
Ooh, I usually go in like A, B, C, but at 1 to 10, 6, 5 maybe.
6? That's very generous. That actually assumes he's doing
like
decently.
way too nice. No, you're right. He's like a 4.
Yeah, he's down here below 5 at least.
I wanted to go with league ranks. This guy's like, he's like a C- right now. At least he's keeping up in far. Well, he's 20 down.
Yeah, I don't think you can make a case for him at the moment.
I'm trying to find something positive.
He jumped into the turret early and died, if you don't remember that.
That's true. Hey, but if you get the kill, you're a genius.
If you did,
I think it was a little optimistic, admittedly. But yeah, Splyce have really turned this thing up at this point. It's a 4,500 gold lead. They just got the Rift Herald. Kobbe and Odoamne are going up towards the top to try and get more damage on this tower. They're taking over the map.
It is pretty tragic right now. Giants losing everywhere, effectively. Bottom side, Djoko is actually sitting in that brush still, bot lane, waiting for someone to show up against the Akali, but no one's showing up.
Yes, they just kind of resigned themselves to being forced to split around the map. Splyce just pick up tower number 3, and maybe, just maybe, Giants can be able to find something here as the Akali is uncontested, but that's a lot of damage to go. And Splyce are already able to back cleanly. They're just getting objectives for free.
Looking good right now. A lot of credit to Nisqy. Nisqy, that's a weird name. Nisqy in the mid lane. So far, he's outplayed whatever Giants sent towards him. A good friend, Odoamne, said, oh, I'm against the Rumble. I need some magic resistance. Hexbringer, boring. New stuff, Wits End. On-hit Gnar, that's the way to go.
Yeah, trust Odo to find a different way to play the matchup.
I mean, I've actually seen Wits End quite a few times. The thing about the current meta as well is that there's a lot of champions with a lot of different item builds. So at this point, it's hard to be super wrong. In the past, we've had moments where it was just locked in stone that these are the item builds you go for. If you don't go for this, you're dumb, you're a terrible player. And people on Twitter would start flaming you if you went for something different. Now, I feel like with Gnar and Varus, like just to name 2 examples, like you can kind of click on whatever item in there and you can make a case for it. AP Varus, sure, it can work. Why not?
I mean, we have seen
Pure tank Gnar, on-hit Gnar with Rage Blade, go for it. Black Cleaver, sure, why not? Like, you can go for so many different things, and you can always find a reason.
it's important to have a little bit of choice here.
Oh, let's see what happens top
Okay,
lane.
so Odoamne.
He's in there. There's
Pushing.
5 Giants members towards the top side right now.
I don't think he's in any danger. Somehow.
That one missed.
Yeah. And you get the word clear after all.
I mean, Odoamne managed to sidestep.
1. No.
No,
Oh,
no,
go back.
Can't encourage it, Pyra. You're playing a dangerous game right now.
You're right. This is gonna punish me at some point. Okay, so Betsy's
Might
back up to
already
the top.
have.
Maybe. Doesn't matter.
Ruin
Just
is
keep
still
pushing
here.
on to that. Ruin has spent a lot of time in that brush and getting well acquainted with every blade of grass. Giants just
To be
at a
fair,
loss for what to do.
You can't die if the enemy can't see you.
I mean, that's
So-
not true if you have AoE damage.
I mean, but they don't know you're there.
But hold on, the
oh,
Valée
he's
is
still
about to come.
here.
Here we go. It's a Narvacu. Odoamne, and there's the red carpet for the
It
kill.
worked.
Betsy getting it.
Hide in the brush for 2 minutes, and suddenly the enemy top laner will overextend and you can kill him.
They never expect it.
They definitely did not expect Ruin to still sit there.
I don't know if it's going to be phasing Splyce too much because Rift Herald's out in the mid right now, and there's kaSing and Kobbe. There is going to be a tower trade. Ruin will be able to finally find that tower up top, but at the cost of a lot of damage on their inner mid.
Well, they're going to lose the mid lane turret. They're probably losing bot lane unless they can do something.
Okay, Nisqy, he does get stunned up. Here we go. Let's see. That's one distort. That's the second. He's out. Tower stands.
It was the Sejuani couldn't one-shot her, so he didn't want to try and go for the 1v3 outplay. I just want to see Kobbe land some Qs, but we never look at him. We always look at like Odoamne or something.
Well, there's just so much burst between the two assassins, and the fact that Odoamne and Ruin have kind of been butting heads a lot this game. I feel like the Kobbe Qs are lower on the list of priorities here.
It's true, but what about this one?
Hold on, here comes Djoko, moves forward. He didn't
Djoko
have the ult
first.
this time. Nisqy moves out of the chains. Giants want to force the fight. 5 versus 4. I don't know why that was getting stuck on the middle one.
I don't know.
But there's also an Infernal Dragon coming up in about 10 seconds. Splyce is still into this map, so it's pretty easy for them to take this, and this is going to buff their team fight up.
I feel like there's a lot of tenacity and MR on the side of Giants. Not respecting lethality Varus right here. So far it's, you know, cost them a bot lane turret, but apart from that, it's obviously not been the Kobbe Qs winning just yet.
Ooh, Nisqy with the bait.
This is one of those games where SirNukesAlot really is not going to have a lot of fun playing Janna unless he can properly disengage against Odoamne.
That's kind of the key right now. And
But
it's always a risk playing these squishy support champions, but Nukes does
also
seem to prefer them.
You don't have point-and-click CC against Leblanc as a Janna, so hitting tornadoes is like almost impossible.
I mean, you do. You have a W.
I guess
It's
it is
CC.
a point-and-click.
It's not very powerful.
Is a slow considered crowd control?
Kind of minor.
I mean, you are...
Yeah.
maybe?
Maybe.
I mean, it's a slow, but it's not a stun or snare.
No. You can move. You can just move less well.
I mean, it's a fair point.
Yeah. It's not so much control. It's more impairment.
Right. You wouldn't say it makes someone immobile, right?
No.
Oh. Just less mobility.
mobile.
Yeah, less mobile. Cool.
Good. I'm glad we got that one squared away. But Splyce, at the moment, do seem to be having this game very squared away. But I think they're still going to probably go a little bit longer. 20-minute game doesn't seem like they're not obviously closing it out anytime soon, but they do have full control on the map. So here's a question for you, Deficio. At this point, with how far down in the gold game Giants are, can they try and force anything, and how?
I mean, they have to, right? They have the Rumble at this point, and they actually have the one-item Lucian.
This is what we were talking about. This is where they should be powerful.
Yeah, I feel like this mid-game is actually the one moment for them to try and do something despite being down the 4-5k gold. And if they don't win that fight, well, it's because they were behind already, so game is over. But if you don't do anything, I don't think it gets that much easier unless Betsy and Ruin play late-game team fights perfectly. Like, there is win conditions there based on just pure outplay.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Obviously, you got to remember, again, Kobbe lethality build is not as great late game, so there is a small opening again from Giants. It's a bit of a problem.
Small opening. Hello! Nisqy, that's number 4.
Yeah, Nisqy is doing very well this game.
He's having a good game of League of Legends.
Oh, Betsy's trying. 2 levels down.
Hold on. Here
Let's
we go. Over the wall.
Come on, Betsy.
Uh-oh. Some jukes. And they're going to lose a turret while it's happening.
I like that he committed, went over the wall. He made us believe for a second he was going to do it. Oh, he found Kobbe.
Yeah, let's see if he's got the damage there, but there's a collapse coming. kaSing, Xerxe, Nisqy, and that is 1v3. I don't think you're that much of a ninja, my friend. Nisqy gets number 5.
Betsy. Didn't work.
He tried. It's hard to 1v1 when the rest of the team is there, and that means that Splyce is going to be able to push in the top turret. They don't even need Odoamne for this one. Giants back away.
It's good to see Splyce dominating the early game. It's been one of the big question marks regarding this team going into playoffs. They will, of course, be our number 6 seed, meaning they will have the toughest road towards the final, having to go past whoever gets number 1 in this fight for first here in the EU LCS.
Absolutely, and a win here is also going to boost your confidence going in to the playoffs, because yesterday it was a tough game against Schalke. Schalke are looking like a stronger team at the moment, and who knows what will happen in the best of 5s. Of course, Splyce are a team that have prided themselves on their ability to play in those best of 5s. Nonetheless, having a win on the last day of the regular split, that's certainly going to help you feel better.
I definitely prefer winning to losing.
That's usually the case.
And I hope it's the same for Splyce, so I agree with you.
It'd be weird if it wasn't.
Yeah, you'd be kind of a weird player if you loved losing.
I think there are like a couple of players that are like that. They usually like AFK in the first 5 minutes.
I've seen some of those. That's true.
Yeah, every now and again.
Let's see if Splyce can cleanly...
Here we go.
finishes. And that's again where, as casters, we set stakes in this game. There's always something to play for. Now Splyce is playing towards the clean snowball. Can they do it and we can hype them up or not? Well, here we go, Kobbe.
Four Giants going forward, looking for Kobbe. Immediately, kaSing jumps back and gets the knock-up onto Steeelback, and Djoko backing away into the safety of the tower, or is it? They're following through. Betsy gets rooted, but Ruin is gonna pick up kaSing. It is not nearly enough. The Monsoon coming through, and Ruin gets chomped by Xerxe. Teleport completed. They'll get knocked back by SirNukesAlot, but not for long as Xerxe flashing forward, looking for Steeelback. Nisqy coming around the side. This is gonna be a bloodbath. Odoamne getting one. Nisqy getting number 2. How about that for a magic trick? He made Nukes disappear.
Well, we said we wanted some mid-game fights from Giants. It was the only way back in the game right now, and they actually tried. They were against a no-flash Kobbe. Sadly, no one got to lock him down.
Djoko's still there.
He's waiting for them to start the Baron so he can steal it.
I don't know if they're going to.
Probably not. They're just killing his base. But, like, he couldn't defend anyway.
No, there's really nothing he could do in that case. It's an unfortunate situation to be in. So Splyce now, even though it's very early into this game, can still get a lot of chip damage on the towers of the base. Betsy will eventually push Nisqy away.
Oh, he's actually going to flank Nisqy now.
Hold on a second. Djoko.
He's on his way.
He's got no ult, but let's see what he can do.
Oh.
Nothing, unfortunately.
Didn't do anything.
That,
didn't even check the
that
brushes.
was not a satisfying payoff.
Could have killed 3 control wards. Did not check any brushes.
Wait, Nisqy's back.
Uh-oh.
Plot thickens. Hold on.
No,
oh, no, he's going to take Braum. Okay.
Probably more important at this point.
Might be worth more gold.
Slightly. Let's see what happens mid. Kobbe, no flash. Look at his play. Ruin. Lance ult. CC in. Oh, that was an instant reaction from Kobbe.
That was a good block by kaSing, too. I want to give him some credit, because Kobbe might have gone down.
Was that the Edge of Night blocking that?
It looks like it. And then we all know what happens next. The counterattack, the double kill for Xerxe. And then, we got to slow down this kill. Oh, no, we don't even get to see Nisqy. That was too graphic for the broadcast, unfortunately.
Yes, it was.
Ruin is going to get knocked against the wall, and that is going to be the end of him for the next 40 seconds. This should prompt the start of the Baron for Splyce, but they might be trying to push their luck into the base.
I mean, they got that free in here. Might as well grab it right now. Top lane, I think the wave is going to push down once Nisqy shoves it a little bit. Oh, Steeelback to split push. Base race, let's go. He recalled.
That's not that much of a race.
Oh no, he's back. Base race is on.
Okay, here we go.
Let's get the base race cam. There we go. There, look at this guy.
It's I don't know if it's fully a base race cam.
I didn't say it was a great base race.
I'm going to call it.
But he's running for the base.
I think Splyce are winning. That's my bold statement for today right now. And it looks like Splyce are just going to keep charging this wave of minions in. Steeelback will finally call chicken here, and it's going to be tower number 1 on the base, fired down. Splyce, do they want to stick around for this one? I'm not sure if they should. Here we go. There's going to be the red carpet from Ruin. Not enough to get the kill off, but Steeelback does chunk a full channel culling into Odoamne's back, and Splyce are split up, but Nisqy decides he can get a kill, or just barely misses it thanks to the Monsoon from NukesAlot. No one's gone down just yet in this fight. Betsy's still on the chase for Xerxe, but he might have overextended himself as the pillar comes through. kaSing gonna find him. There's the collapse. Kobbe getting the chains on, and that's gonna be the reverse collapse here. kaSing getting Betsy on this, and now Splyce should be out of the woods.
Oh, Kobbe never hitting the Qs. I want to hype that build, but at this point he doesn't deal anything.
There's a 6-1 Leblanc in this game, Deficio.
We've already talked about Nisqy.
We can keep talking about Nisqy. He's playing really well.
He's actually playing extremely well in this game. He's having a lot of fun.
He's been set up for success too. It's not that Xerxe is camping his lane. Yeah, he's been able to find the picks, and then he's able to find more picks, and his team lets him have the picks.
I think out of these 6 kills, at least 4 of them were solo kills. So, I mean, he's been feeding himself.
Yeah.
Djoko wants to kill Odoamne bot lane. TP as well.
There's a lot of investment
really giving it away, but let's go.
Okay, there's the hop. Djoko still on the chase. This is big investment from Giants to try and get anything they can to get back in this game. This teleport as the Gnar comes up against the wall. Djoko has found the damage onto Odoamne with the rest of the team. But that's going to be some deletion. Nisqy with the damage. Kobbe with the follow-up, and everybody from Giants just blinks out of existence.
All credit to Nisqy there for the damage dealt. Kobbe just finished the kill. It was definitely the Leblanc.
He did have some burst. It just was spaced in the right place.
It was definitely Nisqy right there, making sure that no one could do anything. I think Giants are just having a bit of fun with this one, trying to chase a few kills.
Hey, if they can get it, you know, you get to hashtag worth in all chat. But I think Splyce is knocking on the doors to victory here, and they'll just wait for the minion wave to charge through before they finish the job.
Okay, last one going down for Splyce. Normally they win in 40 minutes. this game, they might actually win in 27.
Well, looking to make that one happen. Giants last ditch, last stand, last chance to try and turn it back around, but the Nexus is bare, being fired down. Djoko, everyone going through. Ruin's trying to help out a little bit with that equalizer, but I don't know if there's any equalizing this game at this point. Steeelback, one more shot is all they need to do it. It's for some style points. They go for the fountain for just a few more shots. Triple kill for the Varus, and that's going to be Splyce with a victory in their final game of the regular split.
Good ending for Splyce. As you highlighted, Pyro, they needed it. Of course, lost the game to Xerxe, lost the game to Fnatic, where they were like close late game fights. This one didn't even go to late game. It was just early game domination, started by Xerxe and Nisqy.
And they proved they could do it. They could do it cleanly as well. Not without a couple of mistakes, but for Splyce, looking to the playoffs, it's going to be something to build off, and they can be very happy about that performance.
Of course, of course. I'm a fan of Nisqy Leblanc. That was pretty damn good.
I'm a fan of Nisqy in general, the way he's been playing this split.
I'm sad my lethality Varus talk didn't really give us anything.
I mean, he got 3 items completed. He went 6-0.
But ended up not being that relevant. He landed that 1 Q on Janna in lane where people saw the damage.
You're always going to have the camera on the assassin that's just snowballing out of control. That's just the way it is. It is the lot in life for AD carries, I'm sorry to say, but he did his job, and he did it well.
Nice. Very, very true.
And Kobbe, you know, definitely deserves a lot of credit as a standout member of this team. I was talking about him earlier from his performance in the loss.
This game was Nisqy, for sure. You're 100% correct about that one from earlier, Pyra. Great performance overall.
Oh, yeah.
And Giants, obviously, as you guys could see in the game, on the player cams, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughs. Like, this was the last game for them in the regular season in 2018, and the game didn't mean anything. Like, they were not playing for a playoff spot.
No, the only thing they could have really done at this point was just kind of make it a louder bang to go out on. But all the same, I liked what they were doing, showing a lot of heart here by chasing people down, going for the crazy plays. At some point, you've just got to have some fun, and just remember that.
Very true. First pick Akali didn't really work.
No, it didn't. Credit to Betsy for trying. I really think they kind of had a little bit of trouble there once that flash under tower happened. And here was the trend in that game. It definitely was all Splyce for the most part.
That's a decent goal graph if you're a Splyce fan.
Just decent, yeah?
I give it a decent.
Okay, all right.
A solid 5 out of 10.
You are like really hard to please. I'm easy, you're very difficult. Between the two of us, we're a fair
you almost gave the
grading
Akali
scheme.
in the early game a 6 out of 10.
6 is still a failing grade where I come from.
But it's out of 10.
Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at some highlights and forget I said that.
This is the first thing that happened. Oh, actually, no, this was a second one. He already died once. And then Nisqy gets ganked, does not want to use his flash. Let's just say it was on purpose. He didn't want to flash this one. And then he gets all the damage down on Betsy. And I want to say it was also planned with the pillar into then. I mean, obviously the Gnar was planned for
that was actually sick.
Obviously the first pillar was just there to get the flash. It looked good though. I like it.
Yeah, good stuff. And here goes Nisqy again.
Oh.
See, I mean, this was the Nisqy show because at this point he's just 3-shotting people.
I miss old LeBlanc with DFG. Could do that even faster.
Yeah, that would have made that even
that would have lasted
harder
like
to watch.
1 second only.
Yeah, I suppose it's short, so...
He got a chance to flash here. I also realized a lot of our newer viewers will not know what DFG is, unless you've played the new game mode.
Or you listen to Pentakill.
That's fair as well, but in Nexus Splits, you can play with DFG.
Oh, yeah.
So you actually now, even as a newer player, you have a chance.
Reason to go play.
You can go back and play with some of the very old items, which is
I'm going to pull you out of your item discussion because we got to talk about the players as well. If you think one of those players stood out especially, I think I might know the name on your lips. Be sure to check out the player of the game vote at LOL Esports on Twitter. You can choose between Xerxe, Odoamne, and Nisqy, of all people.
Or lethality Varus.
Apparently that's not a choice, so Deficio, don't lie to the people. For more on Splyce's win, let's check in with Laure and their mid laner.
Thank you very much, Pyra, and thank you, Nisqy, for joining me now. Very controlled game for you guys, especially in the early game. And it's not been your forte, if I may say, during the split. So what made it difficult for you guys to take advantage in the early game?
I mean, right now we're trying to improve on like our early game, at least playing like more aggro, I would say. And I think this game we kind of show that we can actually play an early game, and not like give up everything. So yeah, I think it also helped that like we had nothing to lose and we had nothing to win either. So we're just going all in, and yeah.
You're talking about playing more aggro. I saw you picking up way more assassins lately. So do you think it's the way to do it for you guys through the mid lane?
I mean, I like assassins right now because I feel like you can kind of challenge every champion, and like you can even like blind pick Leblanc or like Yasuo as I did yesterday. Like As like if you're good on a champion right now, which is an assassin, you can lay in against everything and just snowball the game out of control.
Now, everything is settled for you guys. You guys looked 6th in the standings. So what is the team you feel the least coming into the playoffs this time?
To be fair, I feel like Misfits are not that great right now because I feel like SirNukes is not performing as good as he was before, and just their team play in general is getting worse, I would say. So I would say Misfits for sure.
Yeah, how about you? Do you feel stronger as a team this split than last split?
I think right now we're getting like insanely stronger. And I will say if our early game goes well, then we can win games. But I feel like if our early game goes badly, then we will lose a lot of games. So
fingers crossed here, and you still have 1 week to prepare for this. Congratulations again on the victory, and good luck for the playoffs. And now we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, it's going to be H2K versus Schalke 04. Don't go anywhere.
A little bit low, flash forward from kaSing does not hit the Q. Steeelback dashes over away from the pillar, but it looks like NukesAlot's the target right now. He's gonna go down to the Q. Or maybe not. Here comes Djoko, throwing out the ice ball, and Betsy going in for the collapse. Finally gets the kill. Oh, so close. Giants going forward, looking for Kobbe. Immediately kaSing jumps back and gets the knock up onto Steeelback, and Djoko backing away into the safety of the tower, or is it? They're following through. Betsy gets rooted, but Ruin is gonna pick up kaSing. It is not nearly enough. The Monsoon coming through and Ruin. The wall, Djoko has found the damage onto Odoamne with the rest of the team. But that's going to be some deletion. Nisqy with the damage, Kobbe with the follow-up, and everybody from Giants. Steeelback, one more shot is all they need to do it. It's for some style points. They go for the fountain for just a few more shots. Triple kill for the Varus, and that's going to be Splyce with a victory.